Cavanaugh Center is a community center run by the Boys and Girls Club in Petaluma, California. And the Cavanaugh Center transformation is Daily Acts organization is working with the city of Petaluma to do water conservation education programs to help its citizens save water. And so what we did was we took approximately a 3,000 square foot lawn that used about 80,000 gallons of water a year and turned it into an edible landscape that mimics a forest ecology while empowering citizens and engaging them in the process.
Give it up to the city of Petaluma.
With the Cavanaugh Center project, we did so many different great things. We saved money, we saved water, we saved resources, and we did the right thing.
Essentially, this is the next level of where our green movement, water conserving, food security, we need to move it into city, we need to move it into municipality, we need to get it into institutionalized really into our cultures.
A couple months before this happened, we brought in some expert landscape designers, permaculturists, ecologists, and talked about how we'd create a food forest. Then over the process of about 3 weeks to a month before the actual installation, we started putting together a design, we started mapping the site, we started looking at the species and material needs, the tool needs. We started creating both an installation team and a logistics team to handle 150 people coming through a site in 3 days and moving tools and having a lot of activity on a very public corner.
I've got a basin there. Perfect.
Once the design was roughly laid out, our permaculture landscapers came out and actually marked the pathways and various aspects of the design. We used a laser level to figure out where contour was, and we basically just had a draft on the ground of where things were going to go for the 5 sections that would be installed.
Permaculture is about designing the needs of humans integrated with the needs of the ecosystem.
On Friday night after work, we had about 60 people show up and we gave them the context of what we were going to be doing and the importance of it ecologically.
Well, essentially what a food forest is it's using trees, shrubs, perennial plants to mimic a forest ecosystem, and by doing so, choosing plants that produce food. A forest grows in layers. So over the weekend, we'll be planting multiple layers of the food forest. We'll be planting an upper canopy. And from those taller trees, we'll have the ability to plant smaller plants underneath those taller trees. And what happens is you start vertical stacking, as you start layering vertically with your planting system, is you can fit an incredible amount of plants and diversity in a small space. All of you will be in a team with an experienced landscaper and permaculture designer, and you'll have an opportunity to learn intimately about these systems.
Since it's a large lawn and we're doing it all at once with a lot of people, we had it broken into 5 sections. And so we had a 2-person installation team in each section. And the beauty of this is we had some experts local, but we also had some people who knew how to do some of this, but they hadn't taught it before. So we were creating an opportunity for emerging leaders to teach and speak.
We're going to take this lawn, and instead of removing it all, we're going to sheet compost the lawn with cardboard. But we're also doing this water harvesting piece where the rainwater that falls on this lawn isn't just going to sheet off into the sidewalk. We're going to sink the water into the ground.
The goal in sustainability and in ecologically designed landscapes and systems is to maximize the use of organic materials and on-site resources. And there were these big bushes there that were taking up a lot of space and weren't going to fit in the design. So rather than exporting resources off-site, we had the team chop up the bushes into very small bits, and that was going to be used as organic fill for basically creating an on-site sponge to retain rainwater. One other piece we did on the first day, we edged the lawn. And the reason for doing this is because we're going to be laying down a layer of cardboard and then wood chips. And so by taking it down 4 inches, then the cardboard could sit lower than the sidewalk, and the wood chips ideally wouldn't run out onto the sidewalk.
The number one thing here today is safety, right? So we don't want a lot of this sort of thing. Oh, did I puncture your head? Oh, oops.
The second day we went about actually digging swales, which are on contour drainage basins.
And so when we dig this out and we fill it with water, it will fill up like a bathtub and allow water to infiltrate into the ground.
The goal of the project is to primarily save water. The roof over there, probably in a year, gets about 100,000 gallons of water that runs off into the direction of this landscape. There's downspouts coming down, and before a lot of that would run to the sewer.
We have a downspout here and a downspout here. We have this Y here. So we're going to be putting a Y on this downspout. And what that will do is it's going to split the flow from that downspout. We're going to run these downspouts into those ditches.
And that's where, within that drainage basin, we filled the organic material from the day before, the bushes that we cut. And this will enable rainwater to sink into the ground and feed the fruit trees and berry bushes and things that will be growing there.
The soil that we dig out of this ditch we'll put on the downslope side, and that will build up a planting bed.
In addition to digging swales, we dug 4 big rainwater basins. So we dug a very deep ditch, which is then filled with soil and sand for drainage and some mulch. And so that's an overflow area. In case we get a big rainfall and it fills up the pathway swales, then it overflows into these rainwater basins before it goes off-site. Our estimates are that we'll probably be able to sink about 60,000 gallons of rainwater.
Now what we need to do is everyone needs to grab a cap.
There was an existing sprinkler system in place on site, and what we did was we capped off the heads, so we left the pipes in the ground, and then we installed drip irrigation, which is much more efficient.
This is called a swing joint. But what we're doing here is we're converting this pop-up spray head, this old thing that weighs tons of water, with this one retrofit kit that converts my system to a drip system. Each emitter will have one on either side of each plant for the most part, and then we'll probably come back on the other side so they get water all the way around them.
One of the great and amazing things about doing the Cavanaugh Center lawn transformation is that the community really came together. We had youth, adults, elders, neighbors and strangers. There were city staff and council members there, landscapers and business owners. You know, it was really hot weather, and it was definitely hard work, but it was also a lot of fun. We started to move some compost across the whole landscape. We laid down right over the lawn in place a little bit of compost.
We got rid of a huge water-sucking resource, and that's turf.
And that was largely the second day. The third day, we put in the majority of the first round of plantings. About 110 different plants, around 30 fruit trees and berry bushes, and then approximately 80 habitat plants, medicinal plants, things that were natives and that sequester nitrogen from the air. And then we sheet mulched, doing the whole cardboard layer. The reason we sheet mulch with a layer of cardboard is to help decompose the lawn into living soil, and it provides an organic weed barrier by improving soil structure, water retention, and it's also building soil in layers like nature does. And then we laid down a layer of wood chips.
One of the great things about the Cavanaugh project is showing that we can do capital improvements with intelligence.
We reduced the amount of water used because we planted 4 different layers of plant material that can be eaten as well as be an incredible visual attribute to the city.
One of the things we're really excited about is being able to distribute this abundance of food that we've planted to people in need. So to do this, we'll be partnering with Petaluma Bounty and other local organizations as the fruit grows and the harvest become more prolific, and we'll distribute that to folks who may not be able to afford to put enough food on the table. Our intent for the site is to use this as an ongoing model to teach courses how to harvest medicinal plants, how to prune and graft fruit trees, how to install rainwater catchment systems. And so this site will continue to be a stronger model and a community benefit, both providing resources but also providing skills.
Cavanaugh Center is a great model for this city. It's really the tip of the iceberg for the projects that we want to do, the potential projects. We have so much potential in the city to do the right thing with all of our landscaping.
By creating a model here, this could be replicated in this city, in this county, anywhere on the planet.